You can't serve 'em nothing. Let's serve 'em stuffing. I make a stuffing called King of Stuffings. Basically what you're doing is making a bread crumb circle filled with butter, sausage, and delicious flavors. King of Stuffings. Let's make it. So in exciting news, when I went to Cinderella to buy the groceries for the show, they didn't have the packages of stuffing that I swear by. What you may not know is that we're not shooting this in December. So they didn't have it yet. So I had to just do it from scratch, quote unquote, even though breadcrumbs are sort of from scratch. But I bought some bread and I kind of left it out. I'm gonna food process this into breadcrumbs, okay? I'm cutting this into sort of workable pieces. I'm gonna see how much we have. I have another loaf from Faico's, which was jammed today. If you're in New York and you want a pretty good Italian sandwich, I would recommend Faico's. It's popping out. The bread is trying to escape. Nice rustic crumb. That's what we want. Look at this amount when it's in here. Now, we're talking about Christmas, okay? This recipe uses a lot of butter. When I was a kid, I used the old Pepperidge Farm stuffing mix. They asked for a stick of butter, so I use more, you'll see, more sticks of butter. What I'm doing right now is making a mirepoix, the base of all great cooking. I'm not gonna worry too much about the cutting, the knife skills here, because it's gonna kind of disintegrate in the bottom of the pan. Sausages from Faico's, because we're not shooting this in December. They didn't have the loose sausage, because during the holiday period, they sell the sausage without the casing. It's just one step different, okay? So all you're gonna do is cut down the sausage and squeeze out the interior. You want the inside of the sausage. So when I was at Faico's, after I made my purchases, what do you think I did? Okay, I'm just gonna I could pull this apart, but I'm just gonna kind of roughly chop it. It'll disintegrate in the pan. Don't worry about the big pieces. Here we go, let's take it to the stove. Get a pan that you wouldn't mind bringing to the table, but also fits in your refrigerator if you're keeping it overnight. So we're gonna use this. Basically, we're gonna cook the stuff, not the stuffing, but the stuff. Then we're going to take that stuff out, melt the butter, put the breadcrumbs in, quickly toss them, throw in the ingredients, mix it all up, and then you're done. If you're serving it in an hour, then you brown it. If not, you cover it after it's room temperature and put it in the fridge. Let's cook it. This is a very beautiful pan, Ruffoni. Like this kind of thing, Lynn gave me this. This can go to the table. I mean, this is stunning. A little bit of olive oil just so that this doesn't immediately stick, the sausage.
Hot pan, olive oil.
Ooh, that's hot. Okay. All right, here we go with our saucische. Now this is something I do Christmas Eve or Thanksgiving Eve. So sometimes I'll do everything, the mac and cheese, the this, the that, the bloody, for Christmas or whatever I'm doing, and I'll leave this for the day of. A little bit of salt. These are quite beautifully seasoned, so you don't really need it. But you know, this is not a time to buy the cheap sausage. It's almost like save a little money for the little tiny luxuries. Even if it's a $5 luxury. Because those beautiful little gifts to yourself, certainly, or to your guests, right? So, for instance, instead of the $3 a pound sausage, get the $4 a pound sausage, you know what I mean? Because it's holiday. I'm adding a little pepper. So I'm just gonna remove this so I can cook the mirepoix. But I want the juice. For Christmas, if I'm making stuffing, I will also put pancetta in the bottom, which has more fat. This is excellent sausage. It doesn't have a ton of fat, it has some fat. There's our mirepoix. After this is sweated a little bit, this is when you would add your walnuts, your oyster pieces. Is that a big seller? I don't know. Some people love oyster stuffing. I think sausage is the way to go, or veg, in which case I would use leeks and, you know, maybe some very firm mushrooms, even though Reggie wouldn't like it then. I'm gonna season this because it is the king of stuffings. I'm gonna use this magic thing called porcini mushroom powder. It adds depth to anything you want. Sweating it down. All right, I like the look of that. I'm gonna start some butter now. So we're making sort of a liquid. I'm gonna add some porcini mushroom powder. I'm gonna take this bread, mix everything together, and then I'm gonna moisten the bread with butter and with stock. But you wanna know why restaurant food is good? It's because they use so much freaking butter, you would not believe it. All right, I'm liking the look of this. I'm gonna put this sausage back in. Ooh, I love that, I do. I'm gonna use a little bit of herbe de Provence from my cute little thing that Carrie got me. All right, I'm gonna add this whole pod, actually. This is saying to me, bread, bread. It's asking me, make me into stuffing. I don't want to be nothing. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of just sausage and mirepoix. Here we go. In goes the bread. Now, I'm not really cooking this right now. I'm essentially incorporating the ingredients. Oh boy. Whoa. Okay, in my opinion, it needs a little bit of stock. Not a lot, a little bit. You don't want loose liquid at the bottom, but you want it so that it's not dry. There's a lot of sausage in there. See that? That's what you're looking for. It's kind of sticking together now. This can go in the refrigerator once it comes to room temperature. Without the stuffing, you'd be roughing it. Here's the MacGuffin about the stuffing. You gotta crisp the top. I'm just doing a very, very thin layer of olive oil, just a little bit so it don't stick. I'm decanting this into here because I don't like the size of this. All right, now, look at that. Huh, that looks professional grade. Here's the final secret. It does taste like traditional stuffing, but you want it to be super nasty, right? So people go, that was the best stuffing I ever had. I hear that every single year. So what I'm doing is dotting the top of it with huge pieces of butter. Then that melts and makes a crusty top. You can also do this more while it's cooking. Now, they don't need to see this. I usually go, look over there, and then I dump the butter in the thing. All right, I'm gonna put this in a pretty hot oven. So let's pretend it's Christmas dinner. This is like the last thing you would do. You would take all your food out of the fridge, obviously an hour, hour and a half before service, so it can chambray, so it can come to room temperature. This, you're literally crisping, it's cooked. So you're putting this in the oven so that it gets a crispy top and looks gorgeous. It's not so much that you're cooking it, low stress. Can go in when your bird comes out or your filet comes out and it's resting for 10, 15, 20 minutes. This can go in. Here we go. That's a 425 broil. We've gone over fillets, we've gone over the bird, we've gone over a lot of things. Stuffing is some people's favorite part of Christmas dinner. If it's just you and your friend, or you and 2 friends or 3 friends, what about individual stuffings? Like little individual pots of stuffing? I would love that. So, there's the MacGuffin. All along it was stuffing. The king of stuffings. Oh boy. Whoa. Whoa.